welcome. So this is just a brief sort of like breakdown of the guide regarding the safety network development pilot project. The safety network development pilot project is basically I'll give you kind of like a brief breakdown of what the project is about. So, Social Planning Toronto is working on the safety network development pilot, part of the city of which is part of the City of Toronto's Community Violence, Wellbeing, and Recovery Pilot, CVWRP in short. And this initiative supports the development, coordination, and implementation of a continuum of community well-being and recovery interventions that will directly support residents and community members impacted by violent incidents. The Safety Network Development Pilot is focused on enhancing community capacity to support local leadership and mobilization around community violence. We're working on this partnership with the city's community safety and well-being units, community crisis response program, specifically when it comes to these community pilot projects. And our role is to strengthen CCRP supported safety networks, tables, and committees across Toronto by hosting virtual training series, having local safety project support for residents and community members impacted by violence, and also co-leading in collaboration with CCRP, the Stronger Together initiative, an event that brings together service providers and community partners across the city to collectively discuss local safety issues, intervention approaches, and opportunities for collaboration. The capacity building virtual workshop. These sessions, we started them in June 10th and we ended in July 13th. That was the summer sessions. And in the fall, they're going to be launched on September 16th to October 30th. And some of the topics are going to be on grant writing basics, media communications, anti-oppression and trauma-informed approaches, conflict resolution and mediation, evaluating impact, virtual event planning and engagement, and collective impact and network sustainability. Local safety network projects are basically direct projects that each safety network is going to be working on regarding this initiative. So each safety network will receive about $1,000 in funding from the City of Toronto for a local safety project or capacity building initiative that supports residents and community members impacted by community violence and contributes to strengthening your safety network. So over the summer and fall, SPT will work with each local safety network to identify a project or initiative and to develop a project plan. The initiatives will vary from community to community, but could also include. So here's some ideas, basically. If you haven't started to think about the project that your safety network should take on, here's some ideas to kind of like think about, help you with your brainstorming sessions. So projects could include projects to build resident capacity and leadership, strategic visioning or planning session, or terms of reference development. So going through that session, you would need maybe a facilitator, an expert when it comes to working with different groups on working on their terms of reference and so forth. A safety audit for the neighborhood, needs assessment, community-based data or research project, a resource map, a resource guide, crisis response toolkit, media toolkit, trainings and virtual workshops, storytelling or video documentation of community impact, community arts project that could include, for example, maybe a video story, a book, sort of like a community book or storybook that folks could be working on, public art, performance, music, dance, etc. Like, a small local community event, maybe a festival of some sort. Conflict mediation or resolution, transformative and restorative justice initiatives, wellness and healing projects, addressing intergenerational trauma, safety walk or bike ride, COVID safe outdoor events, enhancing an existing project related to community safety, alternative and community-led models that respond to crisis or violent incidents, website or digital platform, online database, tool, or resources. So this is an area where there's certain groups that they're interested in building an online platform. This might actually be something that folks could look into, creating an online marketing strategy, or changing the narrative, for example, about the neighborhood, and showcasing the real talent that folks have in the community. A town hall, a panel discussion, or a series of panel discussions based on various topics, community conversations, civic engagement initiatives, or focus groups. Other folks might be interested in conducting a campaign or a series of campaign and advocacy initiatives to raise awareness about an issue that would shift policy or influence policy change, citywide or provincial wide. So there's an array here of different ideas that might actually assist you in thinking about broadly what your safety network should be working on or could be working on, and what you would like to tackle. It could also be something that you're working on that really needs that support and that push, and here's a little bit of funding to actually help you make that happen. As the overall purpose and objective of this really pilot project is supporting the work that you guys have been working on your safety network, specifically on the sustainability aspect, right? So these are some of the things that folks you could start thinking about. Now, regarding the project support of this, SPT will provide safety network project contacts and collaborators with project orientation support to learn more about the funding and expectations. So this video, for example, is to assist in that, and we're in contact with folks from different safety networks, myself, Shadia is seen here, and also my colleague Ishrat. So feel free to contact us. Each safety network will be matched with an SPT support person. So that's basically myself and Ishrat. And we've been working, Ishrat is working with the East and some of the downtown safety networks, and I'm working with the West and some of the downtown safety networks. West and Northwest kind of like thing. So we're here for your support. Any questions, we could have a meeting. So SPT support staff can meet over the phone or through Zoom, and we'll check in regularly with the project contact. Meetings will provide guidance on project design, development, and delivery. Or we'll also provide you with some resources and tools to help you successfully design and complete your local project. So feel free to ask us questions. And also, a key person in this process is your CDO. So your local CDO that you're working with is also another great person to communicate with, especially when it comes to the ideation process and the confirmation of the idea, and choosing the project contact person. So talking about the project contact position, each safety network is asked to identify a project contact to be the main point person between SPT and the local safety network. The project contact will receive an honorarium of $250 from SPT for taking on these responsibilities. So sending email communications from SPT to safety networks and promoting pilot activities and workshops at safety network meetings, liaising with the SPT support person and project collaborators to develop a project plan, meeting by phone or Zoom with the SPT support person on a monthly basis from July to December to check in on the progress of the project or initiative, and to participating in a reflection session with SPT evaluators to evaluate the pilot. The project contact selection is based on the networks and their own sort of like fair process on selecting the person for the project contact role. We are asking resident youth to be involved in this process, age 18 to 30, and to be prioritized specifically for the project contact role. However, we do understand not all safety networks have access to that. So that's something that if a network cannot find a youth to take on this role, residents over 30 years old are welcome to fill the position. The chosen project contact must fill out this project contact form by August. Here we're saying August 16th. Now we do understand that some safety networks have not been meeting, and also ideas regarding the pilot project have not been solidified by August 16th, so we do not panic. We're taking it as a rolling on process, as we know that some safety networks haven't been meeting throughout the summer. So don't stress about the date. Just submit in this form. And just for your, when you click on that link, it will take you to this form right here. It's a very simple form. Your email address is what we're asking. We're asking which network you're from, in terms of how which safety network you're part of, your contact information so that we could communicate with you, and the CDO that you're working with. So it's a very sort of like simple form. It shouldn't take more than like 5 minutes to fill it up. Okay. Moving forward, the local projects and the developing of a project plan. So here now, based on what the discussions have been and the brainstorming sessions in your safety network, would like each network to come up with a brief project plan to clarify your project idea and how you will spend your budget. So here's a link to the project plan template, and I'll go over it with you shortly. Let me just finish here in terms of what support you'll be getting from us as SPT. So our SPT support team will work with the project contacts and safety network members to go over your project plan. They can also help you capture your ideas on the project plan template. And please note that whether your project will take place indoors or outdoors, you will need to follow the current Toronto Public Health COVID-19 guidelines at the time of delivery. So here is the template of the project plan. And again, very simple. It's a great process for residents and folks on the safety networks to participate in, because it's about building those skills. These are the basics, kind of like grant writing sessions, but this is not intense. So we're not asking for so much. We're just asking for the project lead, which is the project contact email, phone number, name of the safety network committee, the title of the project, aim and objectives of the project, really and truly, what are you looking to achieve, right? How will it help your community members impacted by violent incidents? What is the project about? Very simple, sort of like, short, quick, kind of like answers. What is your timeline? Is it a 1 month thing? Is it a 2 month thing? Is it a series? Is it just like a one-day event? And time and hours and location, etc. When you're talking about evaluation, how are you going to measure it? Like, what is the impact of this event? Would you be asking participants involved to share the experiences of how the project went? You might choose to take notes. You might create a final product that shares information about its outcomes. The entire thing could actually be a video project, and part of that, your evaluation, is the documentation process of beginning to end. So I mean, think big, be creative on your delivery. When it comes to the budget, again, it's just $1,000. So here we've given kind of like a brief template of honoraria, materials, food, travel, space permit or rental fees. Advertising, maybe you will use some of that money for promotion work. Maybe your entire project is based on promotion, so most of the funding will go into the design component of it and the delivery of the promotion material, translation if needed, etc. Right? Now, the submission, again, here you see a date, September 10th. Do not panic if you're submitting it after September 10th. Again, we understand that different safety networks are at a different level. So this is something to be aware of. So don't panic, just submit your work, okay? So let me just go back here. So that's basically the project plan template. Very simple, straightforward. Now, one of the things that I haven't spoken about is you will need a trustee for the $1,000. So each safety network is asked to identify a partner agency, a nonprofit or charity, to act as a trustee. Your trustee will receive the $1,000 funding from SPT and be responsible for dispersing funds to your network. The fundings from SPT can be combined with funding from other sources towards a bigger local safety initiative. For example, some safety networks work closely with other safety networks and may want to combine funding to collaborate on a joint project or initiative. So project selection will look at the local safety networks will need to think about ideas for your project based on local priorities and interests, and then come to an agreement on one idea or initiative. Here are the steps each network must go through to choose a local project. So one, each safety network must collectively select the project idea you would like to work on through a fair selection process, so whether it's voting, group consensus, etc. Two, once your safety network has selected an idea, the project contact can submit a draft project plan, which we just went through, to your SPT support person. The draft project plan must be finalized with your SPT support person before your network can receive its funds. The safety network must then select a trustee agency within the network with the capacity to administer your project funds. If your network cannot find a trustee, please contact your SPT support person for help. And this is where we come in and provide that support, and we'll help you get that trustee for the project for you. So really to minimize the stress and anxiety. Now, what are the funds for? Like, what is eligible, what is ineligible? Okay, what you can use the fund for. Once you've already approved for your project, you've submitted your project plan and it has been finalized, your network's project contact should connect at SPT with the network's chosen trustee agency, and SPT will send the funds to your trustee, and they will be responsible for distributing funds for project expenses. Now, eligible expenses are honoraria for volunteers, so when it comes to maybe entertainment, childminding, etc., honoraria for safety network or committee members, dedicated space rental or permit fees for event or activity space, digital platform, subscription or digital engagement tools, permit for your event or activity, liability insurance for your event or activity, advertising and promotion, including graphic design, local travel expenses, printing, project materials and supplies, food for the event or participants, purchase of art supplies and support equipment for the event activity. Again, anything that is associated to the event that you're working on. Ineligible expenses, what you cannot use the funds for are fundraising activities, ongoing projects or programs, costs to maintain activities beyond the funding term, salaries, hourly wages, or income generating activities for staff, group members, or support teams, fees paid to organizational project partners, TTC monthly passes, travel outside of the City of Toronto, training or education for individual group members, purchase of media equipment such as computers or softwares, activities related to religious and or political purposes, alcohol or substances. So these are basically ineligible expenses, or what you cannot use the funding for. Regarding evaluation, Social Planning Toronto will lead discussions with each safety network to reflect on the capacity building process, including the training or workshops and your local project. We will explore what worked and how your network can build on its success. SPT will also be conducting an evaluation with external evaluators of the overall pilot project. Safety network members may be asked at different parts of the process to complete surveys, talk to the evaluators, or take part in the discussion. So here is where we're asking specifically the contact person to be available for that evaluators discussion. Regarding the accountability on the funding, the 1,000, for example, SPT will not require documentation for expenditures such as receipts and invoices from safety networks or project contexts, but we do encourage networks to keep track of your expenses for your own group accountability. SPT will also provide your trustee with a trustee agreement form, which they will need to complete to receive the funds for your network. If any funds are unspent, at the end of your local project, you do not have to return them to SBT or to the City of Toronto. So your safety network can use the funds for the future initiative and activities, okay? So no money is coming back to us or the city. And just last but not least, some resources for you. Are over the course of the pilot, SPT will frequently update an online folder of resources, including slideshows, toolkits, videos, guides, etc. After every workshop, we'll also post workshop-related resources, and you can access these resources on the link. And so this is all live, by the way. It's on our website at socialplanningtoronto.org, and you'll be able to find it in the guides link. And document checklist is basically the project contact form that I went through with you, and the project plan template. For further information, you can contact my colleague Saroja, and this is her email address and phone number. You could also contact myself, Shadia Yassin, or my colleague Ishrat Ahmed. Okay, so we're looking forward to your process, your application, your questions, and we're always open in meeting with folks or even on your brainstorming sessions. And just let me just walk you through here with the resources. You could click on the link and it will take you to see this folder. So you could see here some of our sessions that we just did, the grant writing session, the media communication, needs assessment, resident leadership, and safety network. You're able to see here what is already there, and you just click on the folder and be able to access those resources. All right. Other than that, best of luck. We're looking forward to working with you, and I'm excited. So thank you very much.